What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the Triple Z Podcast. I'm your host, Isaiah Henry. With the Clippers losing in round one of the playoffs versus the Mavericks and Kawhi only playing 2 out of the 6 games, plus Paul George leaving LA for Philadelphia, it seems as if the Clippers are taking multiple steps back while the rest of the Western Conference is taking multiple steps forward to enhance their chances at winning an NBA championship. Back in 2019, the basketball world was shocked by the team up of Kawhi and Paul George. Kawhi being a free agent after winning a title in Toronto, leaving to join the Clippers, and trade negotiations between OKC and the Clippers, sending Paul George to LA, with OKC receiving SGA, Gallinari, and 5 first-round picks. This duo was supposed to take over the league. You had Kawhi Leonard coming off of a championship season and winning Finals MVP, and Paul George having his best season in OKC, making first team All NBA, first team All Defensive Team, and finishing top 3 in MVP voting. But when you look at the last 5 years of this Clippers organizations, it's been nothing but failure, whether it's due to health, missing the playoffs, or early playoff exits. Heading into their final season together, there were conversations about the Clippers making it out of the Western Conference. They made the trade for James Harden, a point guard to pair with Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, while being another scoring option. The beginning of the trade didn't start out great. They were 0-6. The chemistry was unbalanced. You had Harden, Leonard, Westbrook, George, 4 Hall of Famers in one lineup, all in different stages of their careers. Russell Westbrook makes the decision to come off the bench, and that was the turning point of the Clippers season. From December into early February, a case can be made that the Clippers were the best team in the NBA. Within a 31-game span, they went 26-5. Kawhi Leonard was healthy and had his name in MVP conversations. Paul George playing like an all-star. Russell Westbrook excelling in his role coming off the bench. Norman Powell being an elite scorer in the second unit. Harden and Zubac building chemistry in the pick and roll. Tyronn Lue putting his team in a position to be successful. And right on schedule, injuries played a factor into the Clippers season. James Harden had a shoulder injury, which he was able to recover from before the playoffs, but Kawhi Leonard suffered a knee injury that led into the playoffs, causing him to only play 2 games versus the Mavericks, who had a strong ending to their regular season behind Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic. Kawhi in that series averaged 12 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists. In the closeout game versus the Mavericks, Paul George 18 points, 6 of 18 from the field, 2 of 10 from 3. James Harden 16 points, 5 of 16 from the field, 0 of 6 from 3. And that's how the Clippers seasons come to an end. If you look at the track record for the Clippers in the playoffs, there is no evidence that this team should stay together. 2020, they lose in the second round versus the Denver Nuggets. That's when they blew a 3-1 lead. 2021, they lose in the conference finals versus the Phoenix Suns. 2022, they miss the playoffs completely. 2023, they get bounced in the first round. And 2024, they lose in the first round as well. So the Clippers have to make decisions moving forward. Back in January, they re-signed Kawhi Leonard for 3 years, $150 million. Extend James Harden 2 years, $70 million in the offseason. They didn't re-sign Russell Westbrook, and Paul George wasn't given an extension. I can understand why the Clippers didn't extend Paul George. Like I said, there was no evidence of this team being successful over the last 5 years. And 2, if the Clippers have Kawhi and Paul George on the same contract, that would put the Clippers in the second apron, which basically puts them in handcuffs, freezing some of their assets within a couple of years. Paul George leaves. He signs a max deal with the Philadelphia 76ers for 4 years, $212 million, leaving us with the Clippers as we know right now with their current roster. They got Nicholas Batum, who's a good role player but is getting up there in age. Derrick Jones Jr., who was on the minimum contract with the Mavs, showcased his ability to defend the opposing team's best player. Not a good three-point shooter. Kevin Porter Jr. played good for the Rockets, but had the off-court issues that took him out of the league, so LA is taking a chance on him. Mo Bamba, a decent backup big for Zubac, and Chris Dunn, an extra body from the Jazz. If the Clippers want to be a top 6 seed in the Western Conference, or at least avoid the play-in, Kawhi Leonard needs to play at least 60 games. Because right now, the Clippers are looking up to the Western Conference. The Mavericks, they went to the finals. They added Klay Thompson. The Grizzlies are going to be healthy with Ja Morant, Marcus Smart, Jaren Jackson Jr., Desmond Bane. OKC added Alex Caruso and Isaiah Hartenstein, 2 great pickups for them. Even though the Nuggets lost KCP, they still have arguably the best player in basketball, Nikola Jokic. The Wolves went to the conference finals, led by Anthony Edwards. The Phoenix Suns just added another decent piece to their roster, adding Tyus Jones as their point guard. Then you still have other teams like the Lakers and the Warriors. There's at least 12 teams out of the 15 teams in the Western Conference that think they should be in the playoffs. So I don't know where the Clippers are going to fall, but they have to figure out how this team is going to work with Kawhi Leonard getting older, James Harden getting a little bit older, their bench maybe getting a little bit weaker without Russell Westbrook. And honestly, they don't have a leader. Russell Westbrook was their leader, but he's with the Nuggets now. So I'm not sure who the leader is for this Los Angeles Clippers team, because we know it's not going to be James Harden or Kawhi Leonard. So that's going to be an empty void that needs to be filled in next season. And with the Clippers moving into their new arena next season, I feel like it's going to be pretty disappointing, because this roster, honestly speaking, for me, and things can change at the deadline or during the season as well, this Clippers roster doesn't seem fit to compete at a high level in a really competitive Western Conference. So I'm just curious how their season is going to go, because I'm not sure what's next for the Clippers moving forward. Let me know down in the comment section where you see the Clippers finishing in the Western Conference. Did they make a mistake letting Paul George walk? Or will this be a successful season where Kawhi Leonard plays at least 60 plus games and has a phenomenal season for the Clippers? Thank you guys for listening to a Triple Z podcast. Please like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Zzz.